Hello, everybody, and welcome to Tracy Takes on the Tuesday edition. I'm Tracy, and of course, this podcast should have been on yesterday, but I'm going to talk about in a little bit why I was not on. It's for a really good cause. I'm notifying people that I'm live, so if I keep looking down, you'll know why. But I'm just kind of waiting on some people to come in here. So I'm hoping that I did this correctly. Okay, let's see. Nope, of course not. I don't like my account when this thing kind of happens. Okay, so let's just continue on with the show. So first of all, I'm going to tell you what I'm not talking about today. Just so we can be clear, we are not talking about the slap heard around the world. I will not talk about it. I don't care about it. There are too many other problems in the world for people to be talking about it. So I'm not talking about it. I have a blanket on for some reason. My heat isn't working. Hi, Anna. How are you? I do want to advise or remind you all that this channel is sponsoring an online scavenger hunt or virtual scavenger hunt that will be Saturday, September the 3rd, 2022 at 6 p.m. The cost is just $15. There'll be two prizes now for the person who finished first and the person who finished second. You can register by going to that link right there, or you can always go to my website at tracymediallc.com. It's the first thing that you'll see. I'm definitely trying to raise money for a second laptop, which I desperately need to start sharing my videos and things like that. Please remember to subscribe to this page. Remember to support me on Patreon. And of course, please support Theus on Complex Mind at his Patreon page and Marlon on his Patreon page, Radical Truth to Power. So, I'm going to talk about yesterday why I was not on. I was not on. I'm feeling fine. So last other week I wasn't on because I just wasn't feeling well. But this week I felt perfectly fine. I was not on yesterday because I was at a Medicare for All meeting. And it's a marketing meeting that I was at. So let me tell you what's happening. So July 30th, 2022, there will be a march in Washington, D.C. to march for single payer health care. And that's going to be taking place. I don't have the link just yet, but hopefully next week I'll have it. And the reason, oh, good. Oh, your parents, well, tell them, we'll do it closer to that time. But the reason I was there is because Indiana is having its march July 23rd. And of course, guess who? Hello, Complex Mind, Simple Man. Hey, Theus, how are you? So the reason that I was at that meeting is because Indiana's having its march July the 23rd. And guess who decided that she should volunteer to be the chair of the Indiana March? Yes, this person right here. So I am officially the chair of the Indiana March for Medicare for All. Our march is July the 23rd, 2022. As the date comes closer, I'm definitely going to be talking about it. That's going to roll into my second topic for tonight because Susan, who's one of my Patreons, she asked me to talk about single payer healthcare. And again, I'm not talking about the slap. I won't discuss it. No, and no. So I'm going to talk about that. But first, Um, I want to have just a little bit of fun, and I hope this works. So, if you're out there, I know Theus and Anna are there, but I have a question, and I think this is going to tell me a lot about my audience. Um, let's see. Whole Washington is trying to get a single payer health system for Washington State. If the federal doesn't have it, maybe the state can. See, Annie, you live in a blue state. I live in a red state. And our red state isn't moving. We need the federal government to move, which is why I'm trying to find funds to get to DC so I can be there. But definitely I'm concentrating on our march in July. But I wanted to first play a simple little game to take our minds totally off of this before I get to my main topic. So, I would like the people watching in the comment section to name besides putting a pillow in a pillowcase, name something that you can do with a pillowcase. So the question is, besides putting a pillow inside the pillowcase, what else can you use a pillowcase for? That is the question, and I have a couple of them. Yes, Anna, that's true. But again, you live in a blue state, I live in a red one, and our governor, our senators, nothing is it. So Anna started it. She said use it as a bag. That's one use. Okay, Theus, wash stuffed animals. You're gonna have to explain that one. Wash bras. That's the one I was thinking of. Laundry bag. Come on, you. Give me more uses of a pillowcase besides a pillow. So I thought you can make a pillowcase dress. Like sometimes for a little girl, you can take the pillowcase and cut out the head part. And you can put it over the little girl and make like a little cute dress. But that works for like a small infant. A weapon against thugs at the laundromat. No. Wrap. Okay, Anna. Wrapping for a gift. You can use a. Okay, it's a. Okay, I'll let it go. Stuffed animals can get torn or damaged in a washer. Oh, so you would put the stuffed animals in the pillowcase. Okay, now I understand. Okay, so do-rags, that's another one. But you would have to cut the pillowcase in half and then wrap it. You can also use a pillowcase for a baby blanket or a baby sheet. So if the baby's just kind of, you want to put some over the baby, but you don't want it too heavy, you put it right over the baby, and that's a baby blanket. Let's see. We got comments coming in. A dust rag. I did not think of that one. That is so true. And you can also use it as a wash. Like you could wash your dishes. Use it to wash your dishes. Or, I'm not suggesting this, you could also use it when you take a bath or shower. It's definitely there. So we got do-rags, a dust rag. Wait a minute. I got carrying stolen goods. I forgot about the sirens. Oh my gosh. I forgot about that. Oh my goodness. Okay. A wig for an improvised. Is that a bomb? I can't see that. A wig, but it has to be dry, right? Because the wig would. Okay, you might have to explain that one. So we got. Let's go through this list. Okay, so we're gonna go with. Let's see. Let me go over this list again. A laundry bag, a bag, wash stuffed animals, washing bras, a weapon against thugs at the laundromat, wrapping gifts, do-rags. Definitely put a lock in it, and now you have a weapon. A dust rag, carrying stolen goods, cosplaying Santa. Oh my gosh, I forgot that one. Okay. A gag for the family you just. Oh wow! A gift you just. A gag that you. Oh my goodness! I was thinking like a money bag, like, and I'm not encouraging this. If you, yeah, because my sister said she's not encouraging theft, and neither are we. So, a grocery bag, you could use it as luggage. I said a pillowcase dress. What else? Oh, I know. Okay. Yes, Anna, that's a good use. A superhero cape for a kid. That is true. That's it. That's a good one. You can also use a pillowcase for like when you set your, you can use it as a mat. So when like, because I don't like to wear socks, even though I know I should. I have diabetes, but whatever. I don't like to wear socks. So you can put the pillowcase on the floor and then put your feet on it. You can use it to clean your ears. Again, that's kind of nasty, but you can use it as, okay, so we don't have any more. Okay, y'all doing real good on this list. Other things you can use a pillowcase for. A shoe cleaner. A shoe cleaner. So we have all gone down the pillowcase lane, yes, because it's such a versatile item. You can use it for literally anything, as we have said. Here's one that we didn't list. You can also use it to dry your hair. Like when you wash your hair and you can't find a towel, pillowcase. A pillowcase will work. Okay, so y'all was doing real good and then it just went straight off. Okay. Yeah, we've definitely all gone down the pillowcase aisle. A do-rag. A belt. If you cut it in half, you can use it as a belt. You can use it as a handkerchief. You can use it to wipe down furniture. You can use it for like curtains. Like you get a whole bunch of pillowcases. So, Marlon's on here. So, Marlon, what we're talking about is uses for pillowcases other than pillowcases before I get to my serious subject. So, if you want to chime in, we got some pretty good ones going here. So, is the governor making pillowcases a part of their healthcare coverage? Oh, and I'm really loving you right there. A mailbox cozy. I didn't even think of that one. I didn't even think of a mailbox cozy. You can make a vest, like a vest for a child. Like you could take like this part and then cut the head at the top of the part, a space for the head, and then cut it down the middle. That's a vest. Look at all the uses that we literally just came up with for pillowcases. It's amazing how creative we can be. And I just want a couple more before I move on to my next subject. So we got Tracy wants kids. I don't want kids to be picked on. I've seen some really nice pillowcase dresses for little girls. I definitely have seen it. Full metal jacket, soap in a pillowcase will change people's attitude. Okay, a shirt for wiener dogs. Yes. Okay, so that's I'm probably gonna do that. Wait a minute, Thea's just jumped in with one more. Washable placemats. Yes. Yes. Who said that? Yes, but that's another one. So I want to move on to my second subject of today, and that's the reason that I had you all talk about what uses for pillowcases is because we came up with some very creative uses for pillowcases. We had everything from put locks in the pillowcases and it'll make a great weapon. We had do-rags and those type of things. And this is going to tie to my overall subject that Susan asked me to talk about, which is single-payer health care. I mentioned at the forefront of this show that I'm the Indiana chair for the Medicare for All March Indiana, which is going to take place July 23rd in Indianapolis. And then there's a follow-up march, the National March in DC, July 30th. And as those details become available, we'll be having more people on besides me to talk about. But the reason I wanted to talk about it again is because Susan, one of my Patreons, said, "Hey, can you talk about this?" And of course, I said, "Yes, absolutely." So we all mostly live in the United States. Let me get this comment. You can make cute pillowcase dresses. I'm telling you, just go to Google and type them. You'll see some very nice ones. But we all live in the United States of America. We live in a system that has two types of healthcare, maybe three. We have healthcare insurance that's provided by an employer. And then we have two government programs that are provided by the national government. And that's Medicare and Medicaid. Medicare is normally for those over 65. Medicaid is for those who live within a certain. They're the extremely poor. They can't afford insurance on their own. And the need to make single payer health care hasn't been more evident than with COVID. I was reading a study the other day that said that about, and I want to get this right, 10 to 12% of Americans file bankruptcy because healthcare costs are too much. If you have to unfortunately go to the ER because you're sick, trust me, those bills come in. You get billed for the ambulance if it's covered under your plan. You get billed for the stay at the hospital. Then the hospital itself bills you. Then all the doctors that visit you, they bill you. If you had to give x-rays, they bill you. If you had to give a blood sample, they bill you. And it goes on and on and on and on. And thank you, Anna, for that. So Medicare also is if for people who are disabled before they turn that age. Thank you very much for that correction. So the problem with the standardized work insurance, like most of us get, is if you lose your job, you're going to lose your insurance unless you have so much money saved over that you get COBRA. And COBRA lasts about 3 to 6 months. Medicaid is with Social Security. I thought it was Medicare. Thank you. 62.1%. 62% filed? Okay, see, that's even worse. So, like I was saying, if you have traditional insurance through your employer and you lose your job, can you really afford? There's a couple of problems with the insurance with work. Number one, if you lose your job, I don't know anybody that can afford COBRA. I've never met that person. I don't know who that person is. If they can, that's great. But eventually that COBRA is going to run out. Average, and I'll tell you what happened when I lost my job. Average for me for COBRA was $462 a month. I didn't have that. So I did not even qualify for COBRA. The second problem with employer insurance is every year the deductible goes up. every year. I don't know anybody that has a deductible that goes down. Every year the deductible goes up. Every year the premium goes up. Nobody ever explains why this is that the deductible goes up and then the premium goes up. But that's money coming out of your paycheck. Having Medicare for all, and again, you can use Medicare for all or single payer, they're pretty much the same thing, would eliminate that. The government would take care of all of the healthcare expenses. It would eliminate, if I want to switch jobs, well, let's put it like this. I'm not stuck with some job because they have healthcare benefits. I can go from job to job to job. I can drive an Uber. I can take photography lessons. I can do all of those things that I want to do and not have to worry about private insurance. Let's see. Let's get these. So Medicare is for retirees. Medicaid is aid to the poor. Yes, thank you. So when you think about Medicare, again, Medicare is for those over 65 typically, or those that are disabled and can't work. I hope I got that right. But it's Medicare, and I'm just talking about for seniors. They have supplemental plans. There's Medicaid, Medicare A, Medicare B, and Medicare D. A is for if you're in the hospital, B is for your doctor's appointments, and D covers the both of them together. As far as I know, if a person who's on Medicare wants like vision insurance or dental insurance, that's an additional cost. Again, Medicare premiums go up every single year. Trust me, I hear stories of seniors saying that they're paying at least $200 a month. And when you're a senior and your income has decreased because you're no longer working, that's a lot of money. And it really is, and I'm going to go to comments because everybody's typing today. One study has claimed that 62, I thought it was like 12 or 13, 62.1% of bankruptcies were caused by medical issues. Another one claims that over 2 million are adversely affected by medical expenses. Deductible goes up to lower premiums, and premiums go up because the younger, healthier people can't afford coverage or opt out. I'm going to disagree with that, because it depends on your health status. If you're a healthy person, probably that applies. But if you have a medical condition, I've had health insurance through my employer ever since I started working. My deductible started off at $200 and went to $500. Now it's $700. It's probably going to go up to $900 next year. That's a base, and that's a very low deductible. You have insurance plans. Let's see. Yeah, D. Okay, C. Yeah, I'm gonna get to Medicare Advantage. C is the Medicare Advantage that Theus was talking about. D is for prescriptions. But Medicare Advantage is supposed to be like a gap. So in other words, if you want vision, you want dental, then A, B, and D are what the government pays for. So not only are they paying a premium for the regular Medicare, A, B, and D, now they're paying a premium to a private insurance company like a Aetna, a Humana, Anthem, etc., etc. And you are not explaining deductibles. You are touching on plan specifics. I am. So I'm making a general statement. Again, deductibles are the costs that you have to meet before. And that's what the first option I'm talking about. The first one where your employer offers it, you have to meet a certain cost before they start paying. Hopefully that explains it. But if we had Medicare for all in the second scenario, we wouldn't have seniors struggling to pay two sets of insurance. And again, they have all these commercials with all these, I'm not going to say fake celebrities, but, oh, okay. Thank you, Theus. Gap is different from Advantage. Gap is synonymous with supplemental. Okay. Okay. So with the Medicare gap, and this is because Medicare I'm not real good on. Medicaid I absolutely positively know. The Medicare is where I always get squeegee with. I know there's A, B, D is supplemental. I mean C is supplemental and D is prescription. But I know there's no one plan that seniors can buy from the Social Security Administration that covers medical, pharmacy, dental, vision. Did I at least get that part right? You can get lower cost meds outside the system. My parents pay over $500 each quarter for just their plan. See, that's what I'm talking about. So when you're a senior and your income is already tight. You're not getting employer insurance anymore because you don't work. You're getting this plan that you can only go to these doctors and it may or may not cover depending on which plan you buy into. It would eliminate that for seniors. So now they would have maybe upwards to $100 extra in their pocket. I don't know what the average cost is. Again, Medicare is where I'm the weakest. But now I'm going to talk about Medicaid. Medicaid is where I'm the strongest because I've worked under the Medicaid system for several years. So Medicaid, as we stated, is a plan for the poor. And Medicaid, at least in the state of Indiana, I don't live in other states. I'm not in those states to know. You have to be very, very poor to get Medicaid. Medicaid, at least again in the state of Indiana, will pay 100% of costs provided you use a provider that accepts Medicaid. Problem is that some providers, now most of them do, most providers do accept Medicaid and Medicare. But for those who want like specialized services, in vitro services, implants, or dental implants, drugs that aren't necessarily covered under the formulary, those things aren't covered. So you have to do authorization on top of authorization on top of authorization. And it's just, the good part is if you stay within the covered services, you're going to get 100% coverage. But again, I'm only talking about the Indiana system. I'm not talking about other states. Oh, okay. Thank you again for the correction. Told y'all Medicare is not my strong point. But with Medicaid, again, you have to be very poor. There are people who are literally on food stamps, or SNAP benefits, on SNAP benefits that cannot get on Medicaid. Medicaid is to keep you alive, not healthy. Exactly. And you would think they would encourage people to stay healthy so that they're not paying all of those costs, but I have to agree with you there. Yeah, Medicaid is definitely a system to keep you alive and not keep you healthy. Having Medicare for all or single payer health care makes that population who has people on Medicaid have tremendous health challenges that they have to get constant doctor's appointments, constant medications. It would make it easier because, again, at least in the Indiana system, there are prescriptions that are not covered at all. There are doctor services that are not covered at all. Um, I know gender reassignment is not covered. I know abortions are not covered. Um, None of those things are covered in the Indiana plan. Don't know about Medicaid in other states, but to have a system that would cover those people, because again, they have so many healthcare needs. If we're just wanting to keep them alive, instead of reframing it and saying, hey, how do we lower these costs in terms of them going to the ER and using ambulance services and all those, when they could have just went to the doctor, had a doctor manage their health and then avoided that. If that makes sense. So there was a couple of pieces of legislation, and I'm not going to talk about it I'm going to talk about it. The Affordable Care Act is garbage. I know people say, oh, it's better than nothing. In terms of what it did, I would have rather had nothing, and I'll tell you why. So the Affordable Care Act, it said that you had, you couldn't discriminate on pre-existing conditions. That part was good, because when you end up with an employer, they can just say, no, we're not going to cover you because that's a pre-existing condition and we won't cover it. So that part of the Affordable Care Act was very good. And I'm like, okay, that's solid. We can do it. The problem with the Affordable Care Act is it gave too many subsidies to billion-dollar insurance companies, and then they just opted out. They literally just opted out and said, no, we're not going to be a part of this. So if you lived in Tennessee, you couldn't cross the state lines to buy a cheaper plan. You just had to just stay within that state and hope that you could find some private plan that covered you. Now, it wasn't worth it, in my opinion. It caught okay, so here's my other problem with the Affordable Care Act. The premiums are way too high. Average, and I know I read this somewhere and I wish I had thought to write it down. Average cost of a premium under the Affordable Care Act could rise above $400 a month. Good luck telling a homeless person who doesn't have an address to put on their Medicaid application, okay, you got to come up with $400 for health care. That doesn't work for me. And yes, I'm glad you did acknowledge that it was a gift to the insurance industry, because it was. You had another problem was that was more of Romney care instead of single payer. The public option is also not single payer health care. Let's see, Anna's got a comment. Let's see this. I pay my primary care doctor because I'd rather go direct care than insurance. Medicaid covers most of my meds that actually do keep me out of the ER. I've had an IV in since 2006. Yep, and she's paying out of pocket. And that shouldn't even happen. That literally should not be happening. Back on my spout about the public option. The public option, which Obama did not sign and it didn't make it in the final bill, would have said, okay, we're going to set up like a single payer health care in every single state. But if you don't want it, we'll let you go buy an Anthem plan or buy a Cigna plan. I think that's it, but that's not the same thing as single payer health care. There's several reasons why this is like my passion project. I could talk about it all day, but I won't. Single payer health care helps to lower costs. If you look at industrial countries that have health care, their medical costs are way lower than the United States. They have an efficient system. There's no waiting to get a surgery like the lies that they tell you in, like the lies the Republicans tell you. If you look at our neighbor at the North Canada, I literally was just reading a story about a man whose wife gave birth to his son. A midwife was there, a nurse was there, a doctor was there. And that couple didn't see any cost for using the hospital, for using the midwife, for using the nurse, for using the doctor. So it can work. I'm still wondering who it really helped though, because those premiums is why I'm like, oh, I let's put it like this: I'm not a fan of it. I'm not a fan of it. No, because I'm one of those ones that believes either it's single payer or it's nothing. And maybe I'm just too gun ho for it. But I think this single payer is the best way to go. Now you do have a high price tag for it because you're talking about putting 330 million people under one single health insurer, which would be the government. Of course, it's going to cost. There's several different ways that you could pay for those costs. You could tax millionaires and billionaires. You could tax corporations. You could cut military spending. You could just say, hey, Anthem, United, Cigna, CVS, Caremark, or whomever, you've made this much money. Now it's going to be time for you to pay this much. So, I see this is the part I can't share my screen because the bill that I know of for Medicare for All is the Bernie bill. That's the only one that I know. And it has 123 sponsors in the House and, of course, 2 in the Senate. It still is sitting in committee because, of course, Nancy Pelosi, who loves to endorse people who are under federal investigation, she has not put it in a committee form where it can be held. I agree, Theus, but I'm talking about the positives only because that's what I was asked to do, so I'm doing it. And you know what? I will do it. So, and again, I'm trying to keep this brief because I'm looking at what time it is. I'm like, ooh, I didn't mean to talk this long. But I believe that having a single payer healthcare will save more money in the long run. Now, the first few years, the cost is going to be astronomical because, again, you're talking about taking 330 million people and putting them all under one system. That's going to be a significant change. And it's going to cost money in the beginning. But what it does over a 10-year period, we're talking about trillions of dollars that this bill can save. So for me to hear the cost of it, that doesn't concern me because I know down the road that it's going to save money. It's also would make it, yeah, she is finally. She was a little bit hesitant before it. And she's in your state, right, Anna? Jayapal is your is Jayapal your congressperson or not? Because she's from Washington State. But anyway, you look at what having single payer could do. If we had single payer healthcare, we would never have to worry about going out of network. Because all the doctors who already take Medicare and Medicaid are already going to be in that network. And it would be so much better because we don't have to pay an extra hit for going out of network. That helps. She's okay, thank you. I agree with that, Theus. I definitely agree with that. But that's another thing. Another thing that people don't think about is oh, hi Susan. See, you missed me talking about Medicare, single payer healthcare all this time. Missed it. This is on the show. You're talking about insurance, and you still thought you were not going to have to be here long. How cute. Keep hope alive. Thanks, Marlon. But, I know another benefit of Medicare, single payer health care is, what? There are literally hundreds of stories that I have read of people who say, oh, I'm not going to call the ambulance, even though I need to, because this person is having a heart attack or whatever, and they need to go because the cost of an ambulance is so high. We could use this new system to encourage people. Hey, have your routine physical, have your mammogram, get your colonoscopy. If you have specialized healthcare needs like I do and like Anna does and like several other people I know, we can go in, we know how to work around the system where we're like, okay, I'll get prescriptions here and I'll get prescriptions here. We don't have to do that under this system. It makes it easier for those of us who have chronic diseases and conditions to get the medical care that we need. I hear stories all the time of people who don't get insulin. If you don't get insulin, basically you're not going to be here long. Insulin for a diabetic is crucial. And what I like about the Bernie plan is it also covers prescriptions. Most nationalized countries like Canada, England, or is it called the UK? The UK, Germany, France, they don't cover prescriptions and they don't cover vision and they don't cover dental. The Bernie plan covers all of those. How people don't think that their eyes and their teeth are not a part of the body, I don't know, but I'm just telling you what I know. Another thing that single payer healthcare could do is it could create jobs. If you have this large government agency, it's going to be large. You're talking about 50 states, 7 territories. Somebody's going to have to, we already have the 1,500, I forget what the forms are called, but the 1,500 forms, they're called 1,500 where a provider files a claim to insurance. Somebody's got to process those. Someone's got to, administer the claims. It could also, and I didn't even think about this, from the Nurses Association, they were saying one of the things that makes them angry is that there's no across the board procedure on how to do prior authorizations. Things like MRIs, surgeries, cancer treatment, some of those things that require like medical records. There's no across the board method. In other words, Anthem has its own system, Cigna has its own system, Humana has its own system. With the single payer healthcare, now everyone has the same system. And there's no more confusion on that. Marketing a public good to a selfish population is a wasted effort. Okay, so when you say got to switch it up, could you kind of give an example? Because I think I know what you mean, but I'm not 1,000% certain. Thanks, Doc. Okay. I can't even read that. Elbow cough? Okay. Oh, okay. So Steve's on the show. You're talking about insurance. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So Susan just pretty much verified what I said because in her country she has single payer health care. She could get cataract surgery, but she has to pay for her glasses. Does that also apply for your dental and your pharmacy? That's what I want to know. Oh, yeah. Okay, Theus. Now I see what you're saying. I agree. So, like I said, I wanted to keep this as brief as possible because, again, within the next couple of weeks, as the March gets closer, I'm going to have people on here who are far more skilled than I am to talk about this. But it's something, again, that I'm very passionate about. Healthcare is a right. It's not a privilege that's for just the few. It's for everyone, whether that person is chronically diseased or absolutely healthy. We all deserve to have uh, health care that we can access and not have to worry about whether our deductibles are going to keep going up, whether our premiums are going to keep going up, and those type of things. So I'm going to look at some comments. And thank you, Thea, for reminding me of that. Everyone, please hit the like button. Like I said, this is the makeup show. I usually do this on Mondays, but I did it on Tuesdays because of the meeting I was at yesterday. So remember to please hit that like button. After we broadcast, you can see this in replay. If you just, even if you're not for it, even if you're not for single payer healthcare, but why? I would love to have a discussion or get someone that knows better than me about, why it's so beneficial and why we absolutely need it in a first world country and we're the only ones that don't have it. It literally makes no sense. It would save money. It could save lives. It could encourage people to go and get the health care that they need and not have to worry about, well, can I pay for this doctor's visit or do I want to get something to eat? We should not have to be doing that. So, again, I'm going to apologize for all my stumbling this evening. But, again, the passion is real. It's something I'm focused on. I'm ready for the fight. We'll keep on having people in here to talk about it over the next couple of weeks. So stay tuned on that. And before I say good evening, I want to remind everybody to like this video, please. If you see it on a replay, you can definitely share this video. Remember, let's see, Susan's got something to say, and then I'll make this the last one. Dental I pay for, but I can get some state money from more expensive things. Prescription prices also get lower the more medicine you buy in the course of a year. It's a weird system. But you still have single payer health care, right? I think you're saying you still have single payer health care. So, like I said, I want to thank everyone for watching this. Please remember you can find out how to support me on my website, tracymediallc.com. The scavenger hunt link is there. Yes, the scavenger hunt link is there, September 3rd, 2022. That's going really well in terms of people watching the video. Remember to like this video, like all my other videos too. Continue to comment, share, and subscribe to this page. Everyone have a great evening. Thank you for tuning in. Again, I'm apologizing for all the stumbling. I promise to bring someone who is better than me in explaining all of this. We'll see you next Monday and have a great evening.